Hello, what is up guys? Jinxin here again with another Sage video. It took me a while, but now I'm finally talking about Succession Sage in PvE. In general, Succession Sage is good at beginner and mid-game grind spots, especially spots where you can 1 or 2 shot mobs. And before I get into the video, I just want to say that I'm a gearlet, so this guide is a bit more biased towards my gear score. And so the first thing that I would want to talk about are your buffs and debuffs. You have 20 AP buff from Shift F, which also does a lot of damage by itself along with the flow. For accuracy buff, you have Shift LMB, which gives you an 18% accuracy buff, but the DPS on it is also bad due to the low crit rate. And for DP debuff, you have SF, Ader's Palm Shift X, and F. Normally I would just debuff them with F, since it's actually our best DPS, but you can also start a pack with SF. You also have SRMB for a 15 magic DP debuff, and does summon damage, but only use it at spots where you're stationary or if the mobs are super tanky. For evasion debuff, you have SE, which applies minus 18% debuff, and it also does huge damage as well as AoE. Typically you would want to precast SF to start a pack, then SRMB for the minus magic DP debuff, SE for the evasion debuff as well as damage, and then Shift F for the AP buff. The only skill that you should be locking on Succession Sage is RMB, which is Ader's Thorn. For cancels, you only need to pay attention to Shift RMB, F, and SE. You can completely cancel Shift RMB startup animation by using Rift Chain right after, which will pretty much increase your DPS as well instead of full casting it. As for SE, you can just use it right after any skill and it will cancel the startup animation. For F, you can cancel it after SF SE, Shift F and Flow, Form Shift, Shift LMB, and Shift Q Abyss skill. All Succession Sage skills do huge damage, but there are a few that you should prioritize when clearing a pack for more DPS, which are SE, F, Shift F, SC, Shift Q, W, RMB, and SLMB. I don't usually use Shift LMB nowadays since the DPS is bad, but I do use it at spots such as Tungrad Ruins or Crypt every 10 seconds. Succession Sage doesn't really have a combo, so you can just freestyle it, but if you're stuck on what skills to flow with, you can follow this combo that I use on every spots. Succession Sage also doesn't really have a proper pulling skill, so you can just use Spatial Collapse and Flow to pull packs and debuffing them at the same time. I also use Piercing Thorn Rabam to pull packs when doing Olins, for example. Shifty is your most reliable sustain, as it has forward guard and heals your HP by a huge amount if you somehow got really low. For Rabams, I personally like using Ader's Illusion since the DPS is higher than Ader's Palm. For second Rabam, never use Energized Thorn since the animation takes way too long for it to worth it. Third Rabam is kinda useless since it doesn't do much damage or anything. My personal favorite outfit for grinding is Marnis' outfit, but sometimes I feel like changing to Consular, which is Sage's first outfit when he was first released to Black Desert, which is also one of my favorites of all time. I also love the Oblivion armor with the fur cape and Carmen crown, which is a great addition.